Hi, my name is Alicia, and today we talk about hair hydration. It will surprise you. If you've spent hundreds of dollars on hydrating hair products only to have your hair feel like a scarecrow having a bad day, you're not alone. And it's not your fault. Let me guess. Your bathroom cabinet looks like a graveyard of half-empty bottles, promising intense hydration. Moisture surge and thirst-quenching formulas. Meanwhile, your hair has apparently developed the drinking habits of a camel. It just refuses to get hydrated no matter how much you throw at it. Here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. The entire $50 billion hair care industry has been selling you a lie. And not just a little white lie like, this will only take 5 minutes. We're talking about a whopper that would make Pinocchio's nose reach the moon. What if I told you that trying to hydrate your hair is actually making it worse? That all those expensive products promising to quench your hair's thirst are about as effective as trying to water a plastic plant. I'm a professional hair and skin care specialist, and after working with thousands of clients over the years, I've seen this same story play out over and over again. People come to me frustrated, confused, and frankly, a little broke from buying every hydrating product on the market. But here's what's really going to surprise you. And trust me, stay with me until the end because this is going to change everything you think you know about hair care. The secret to healthy, soft, manageable hair isn't more hydration. It's actually the complete opposite. By the time we're done here, you'll understand why your hair has been rebelling against you. And more importantly, you'll know exactly what to do about it. So grab a cup of coffee because we're about to dive deep into the most misunderstood topic in hair care. So here's the plot twist that would make M. Night Shyamalan jealous. Hair that actually has more water in it feels rougher, drier, and more damaged than hair with less water. I know it sounds like I'm speaking alien, but stay with me. Let me tell you about Sarah. It's one of my clients who came to me last year looking like she'd been in a fight with a hedge trimmer and lost. She'd been religiously using every hydrating product known to mankind. Her shower looked like a chemistry lab, complete with deep conditioning masks, live-in hydrating sprays, and something called Aqua Boost Serum that cost more than my monthly Netflix subscription. The poor woman was practically drowning her hair in moisture, and yet it felt like she was styling hay every morning. She looked at me with the desperation of someone who'd just realized they'd been putting salt in their coffee instead of sugar for 6 months. Here's what was happening. And this is where it gets really interesting. When you dump too much water into your hair, it's like throwing a bunch of toddlers into a perfectly organized classroom. Everything goes haywire. Your hair has these tiny protein bonds that normally hold hands and keep everything neat and tidy. But when water crashes the party, those proteins start bonding with the water instead of each other. It's like your hair is having an identity crisis. It can't decide if it wants to be hair or a sponge. The result? Your hair literally swells up like a balloon. The surface gets bumpy and rough, and suddenly you're dealing with more friction than a rusty door hinge. No wonder it feels terrible. But here's the kicker, and this is what the hair care industry doesn't want you to know. Okay, let me break this down in a way that doesn't require a PhD in chemistry or 3 cups of coffee to understand. Your hair is basically like a really well-organized office building. All the employees, let's call them proteins, are holding hands and working together to keep everything structured and strong. They're having nice little molecular conversations, sharing coffee, normal office stuff. But then water shows up like that overly enthusiastic new intern who wants to be friends with absolutely everyone. Suddenly, all your well-behaved office workers start abandoning their important work to hang out with this new water guy. It's like when someone brings donuts to the office, productivity goes straight out the window. Here's where it gets really interesting and slightly ridiculous. When your hair gets wet, it can absorb up to 30% of its own weight in water. That's like you absorbing a whole watermelon. Your hair basically becomes a tiny sponge that thinks it's auditioning for a SpongeBob SquarePants episode. Now, remember those cuticle scales I mentioned? They're like tiny roof tiles covering your hair. When water gets underneath them, they start sticking up like a very grumpy porcupine. The surface becomes bumpy and rough, which is why wet hair feels so different from dry hair. But wait, there's more. No, I'm not selling you a set of kitchen knives. Water is also naturally sticky. You know when you can't open those impossible plastic grocery bags and you wet your fingers for better grip? Same principle. Your hair becomes grippy and rough on a microscopic level. So when you touch hydrated hair, your brain is basically saying, "This feels rough and bumpy, it must be dry." When actually, it's the complete opposite. Your hair is basically trolling you at the molecular level. Now you're probably wondering if hydrating my hair is like trying to fix a leaky roof with a garden hose. Then why is every single product in the hair care aisle screaming hydration at me, like an overzealous football coach? Well, buckle up because we're about to expose the biggest marketing scam, since someone convinced us that we needed a different cleanser for every day of the week. The hair care industry figured out a long time ago that the word hydration sells products faster than hotcakes at a Sunday brunch. It sounds scientific, it sounds healthy, and let's be honest, it sounds like exactly what our parched and neglected hair needs. After years of heat styling and chemical treatments, but here's the dirty little secret. Most of these hydrating products aren't actually hydrating your hair at all. They're conditioning it. It's like calling a chocolate cake health food because it has eggs in it. Technically, there's protein, but we're not fooling anyone here. What these products are really doing is slapping a Band-Aid made of silicones and oils on your hair's surface. And don't get me wrong, conditioning is great. Your hair needs it like a car needs oil. But calling it hydration is like calling a toupee hair growth treatment. The real kicker: many of these products are actually making your hair worse in the long run. It's like putting makeup on a sunburn. Sure, it might look better temporarily, but you're not addressing the actual problem. I had a client, Janet, who brought me a shopping bag full of hydrating products that cost more than my car payment. She looked at me and said, "I've tried everything, and my hair still feels like I'm styling steel wool." The problem wasn't that she needed more hydration, it was that she needed to stop chasing the hydration myth altogether. All right, enough doom and gloom, let's talk solutions. Because I'm not here to just tell you that everything you've been doing is wrong and then leave you hanging like a bad cliffhanger in a Netflix series. Here's the secret that professional stylists have known for decades. Your hair doesn't need more water. It needs the Goldilocks zone of hydration. Not too much, not too little, but just right. Think of it like seasoning soup. A little salt makes it perfect, but dump the whole shaker in, and you've got a disaster that even Gordon Ramsay couldn't save. The magic happens when your hair sits at about 10 to 15% water content. At this sweet spot, your hair is flexible enough to bend without breaking, but structured enough to actually hold a style. It's like the difference between cooked spaghetti and al dente pasta. One falls apart if you look at it wrong. The other has just the right amount of give. So, how do you achieve this hair nirvana? First, throw out everything you think you know about hydrating products. I'm serious. If it says intense hydration on the label, treat it like that questionable leftover in your fridge that you can't quite identify. Instead, focus on conditioning, the real MVP of hair care. Good conditioning products create a protective layer on your hair that smooths the cuticles and reduces friction. It's like giving your hair a really good moisturizer, not trying to turn it into a swimming pool. Here's my professional approach. Wash your hair 2 to 3 times per week maximum. Yes, I said maximum. Your hair isn't a dirty dish that needs daily scrubbing. Use a quality conditioner every time you wash, focusing on the mid-lengths and ends where your hair is oldest and most fragile. And here's the game changer. So what was that game changer I mentioned? Weekly deep conditioning treatments, but not the kind you're thinking of. I'm talking about protein treatments that actually rebuild your hair structure, instead of just dumping more water on the problem like a firefighter trying to put out a grease fire. Let me tell you about 3 clients who went from hair disasters to hair success stories. It's faster than you can say bad hair day. First, there's Margaret, 52-year-old teacher who came to me looking like she'd been electrocuted while teaching her science class. She'd been using ultra-hydrating masks every single day. Bless her heart, thinking more was better. After 2 weeks of following my approach, her hair went from feeling like a Brillo pad to actually having people ask if she'd gotten extensions. Her husband even started complimenting her hair, which, according to Margaret, hadn't happened since the Carter administration. Then there's David. Yes, guys, get this wrong too. Who'd been using so many hydrating products that his hair looked greasier than a fast food restaurant floor. Within 3 weeks of switching to proper conditioning techniques, he went from looking like he hadn't washed his hair in a month to having hair that actually moved when he walked. Revolutionary stuff, I know. And my personal favorite is Linda. Spent enough money on hydrating products to fund a small country's GDP. She showed up to my salon with a grocery bag full of empty bottles, looking like she was ready to shave it all off and start over. 8 weeks later, she's sending me photos of her hair that look like they belong in a shampoo commercial, and she's using about 3 products total. The common thread: they all stopped chasing hydration and started focusing on actual hair health. It's like they finally stopped trying to water a cactus and started treating it like the desert plant it actually is. All right? So now you know the truth about hair hydration. It's been the biggest scam since someone convinced us that we needed to drink 8 glasses of water a day. But knowing is only half the battle. So let's talk about what you're going to do about it. Here's your action plan, and I promise it's simpler than assembling IKEA furniture. First, go through your current products and play a little game called hydration or conditioning. If the bottle screams about moisture, hydration, or quenching your hair's thirst, it's probably part of the problem. Look for products that focus on strengthening, smoothing, or protecting instead. Second, cut your washing frequency in half. Yes, I know your mother told you to wash your hair every day. But your mother also told you that if you swallow gum, it stays in your stomach for 7 years. Some advice needs updating. Third, invest in 1 really good conditioner instead of 5 mediocre hydrating products. It's like buying 1 quality winter coat instead of layering 5 cheap sweaters. More effective and less ridiculous looking. Here's what you can expect. Within 2 weeks, your hair should start feeling less rough and tangled. By week 4, you'll notice it's actually holding styles better. And by week 6, you might actually start enjoying your hair routine instead of dreading it like a root canal. I know this goes against everything you've been taught, and changing habits is about as fun as trying to fold a fitted sheet. But trust me, your hair will thank you for it. If you found this helpful, give this video a like. It helps more people discover the truth about hair care. And definitely subscribe, because next time, we're diving into the biggest myth about hair growth that's keeping your hair shorter than it should be. I'm curious about your comments. Till then, stop hydrating and start conditioning. Thank you for watching my video, and if you like it, please like and subscribe. Comments are welcome.